2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
I'm telling you right now, listen, by the way, he's Anson, I'm Sean. Nice to see you guys. We're in for the guys. If we would have taped the last 45 minutes and the shenanigans in this studio, I'm telling you, there's no way we can replicate the conversations we had
Must
here.
watch.
It really would. And we ran the gamut of bull garbage in here. I mean, we really did. Some of the crap we were talking about was insane, but glad you could join us Friday afternoon. Now, the first thing that started, and we're going to try to go in order, because you brought up the Lamar Jackson, Troy Aikman insanity, because that's what it is. It's insanity, okay? But we're going to ask you guys about some famous numbers and if it's possible for somebody to own a number. But these guys got mad at me because I came in. There are 36 days left until week 0, okay? And I think what made it worse for me personally this year was College Football 25 coming out. It did. It made it worse. It was like, okay, well, now I'm ready. Now I want my cider mill open. I want to go get my cider and donuts, and I want to sit my butt down. Boy, I got the swear jar waiting for me, man. But I want to sit my butt down and watch college football. And I don't care if it's a bad week 0. I just want it here. So I told these guys I'm done with summer. And, look at, they're all mad. Here it is again. They're all mad at me again.
A little early, Sean.
I'm done with summer. You guys can take your summer. I'm done with that. Just fast forward me to August 24th and let me watch some gosh damn college football, man.
Well, then that means that you're not done with summer. You just want late summer. Because, September 21st is the end of summer. Yeah. You want late summer.
You're right.
Okay, late summer.
You're right.
Yeah.
But isn't it like Anson, when we were kids, and I was talking to a couple of the interns around here, they're like, well, the summer means I have to go back to school, and I don't want to go back to school. That's what I'm getting at. When I was a kid, summer seemed to last forever, right? And yes, you wanted summer to go on and on. As I've gotten older, I don't want summer anymore. There's too much to enjoy because I am a one-track mind, dude. Seriously. Sports, okay? That's it. Really, that's the depth of my personality.
No, you have two things on your mind all the time.
Well,
sports and smoking meat.
Smoking meat, yeah.
And do you get to do that as much in the winter?
Yes.
You do?
I do, because that's the cool thing. You're going to have to come over. I'm down. I've had a couple big, shindigs and invited Woodward people over. You're going to have to come over. Yes, it's not as easy, but the way I have it configured at my house, yes, I can roll with my Traeger all year round. Like Christmas Eve is just, all right, that thing's going on full capacity, baby.
In the garage or right outside the garage?
It's just outside my door, but it's under a deck, and I have some protection around there.
Over there in West Narnia?
Yeah, in West Narnia, yes. So with that being said, honestly, think about it. I'm glad the Tigers are playing better, but we don't know what to expect. We'll get that going. This is by far, I think everybody will agree with me, this is by far the most anticipated Lions season of our life.
Mm-hmm.
And then some.
And I never thought that 1992 would be eclipsed. For those of you that remember, look, like it or not, 1992 has been eclipsed. That son of a swear jar, Jim Harbaugh, ripping my heart out the first game of the year. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, do you have any?
92?
Yeah,
92,
4,
the first game of the year.
Number 4 coming in.
Winning the whole damn game, and then Harbaugh throws a literally last-second touchdown.
Yep.
And in that moment, I didn't know what the band term is, SOL. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I think I can speak for every Lion fan when we went, it's not happening again, is it?
They'll bring
No, it's not going to happen again. And then it happened again. And the year that we thought was so much promise, and Pat Summerall, I think we're looking at the two teams of the 90s, John. You know, during the Dallas-Detroit game, Dallas goes on and wins the Super Bowl, and we roll to a 5-11.
5-11, that's right.
Gosh damn season, you know? So
Eric Andolsek and Mike Utley.
That's exactly.
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says. That's the difference.
And Reggie Brown,
really was.
That's
And beyond just losing those guys, you lose them to free agency, you have an opportunity to replace them. But just that's player personnel. The standpoint of the tragedy and what it does to a locker room.
100%.
You know,
And Reggie
that was
Brown.
something that they were not able to get over.
Those guys. I worked with Lomas, and I've gotten to know Lomas very well. Lomas, his eyes will light up every time I bring that up, and he goes, "Nobody talks about that.
No.
You lost 2 starting offensive linemen from your team the year before. 2.
Yeah, if you don't know at home, obviously everybody knows the story about Mike Utley, but Eric Andolsek, Pro Bowl guard, I believe, was planting flowers in his front yard with his wife and was hit and struck and killed by a semi. So when you've got a team that's based around protecting your quarterback and opening lanes for the best running back in the history of the game, Barry Sanders, we had a mauling offensive line. We had an offensive line that was top 4 at the time, just like we have now. And to lose 2 major parts of it in such a hard way, it does more than just deplete your actual roster. It weighs heavily on the hearts and minds of everybody on the team. It was something that the Lions were never able to recover from.
God forbid, to try to put this in perspective, and I don't even want to say it, God forbid anything happened to these guys. But I want you to think about this right now. Think about the Lions offensive line right now.
Right.
Now take 2 of those pieces off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Including the center, make it difficult.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
My goodness gracious. And Anson, that's one thing I always laugh when I hear people say, well, you have to remember Barry didn't have that good of an offensive line. Ask Barry. That offensive line, it wasn't Dallas's. I get it. I totally get it. That offensive line. But think about that. They were able to rally around Mike Utley, and that became the rallying cry late in 91. But as Anson said, that's a real story. And I heard one of the younger guys go, what? Truly, he was wearing headphones. Dude fell asleep, ran off the road, and ran him over on his own front lawn. Now, you tell me how your football team would survive. So that's the one thing. But getting back on point, I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are feeling what I'm saying. I think with everything to look forward to, okay? And Anson, for us, turning the page on what was just a disaster up in East Lansing, and I'm fired up about Jonathan Smith. I don't think that it's going to happen overnight, but can this team be a bowl team? Absolutely they can. And most importantly, I want to see them get all that infection out of the program. Seeing what Michigan can do, obviously under Coach Moore, the excitement that is the Detroit Lions, that I will say it again, there has never been this level. Yes, fast forward. I want to go to August 24th right now.
I would like to enjoy some more of my summer, but I will admit, the last month, I put a lot of work into this draft class, and my dynasty leagues reflect that. I can't find anything on anybody as deep as I go on Twitter right now. You know, like Trey Benson, a guy I'm massively invested in, signed his contract finally yesterday. But you can't find anything on anybody. You can't find anything on the Lions. What do we got? The rookies report next week?
Yep.
So it's going to start, and as much as I'd like to be watching some football, as long as I got some blurbs to read about our Lions and about some of the rookies coming in, I can make it till the end of August.
All right, so now that leads me to something else since you brought that up. I am still amazed every year how anybody puts any validity into an exhibition football. It never ceases to amaze me. Never. Never.
I used to call you for 10 years. I used to email you for fantasy advice, my friend. You cannot tell me that seeing who's getting reps and where they're positioning, how much action they're getting in those preseason games, I get it. They're not exciting, but from a fantasy perspective, especially if you're playing Dynasty, I love getting those tea leaves set out in front of me so I can get a feel for who everybody is as we go into the real season.
I think there's 2 things that come into play, though. I think back then, It was different. It was now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I watch it. It's football.
Do you not play fantasy?
I am all in. I am all in for that useless Pro Bowl game. Okay, I am every year. I am all in. You know, here two things. Number one, we saw the starters more often. We just don't see the starters anymore. We don't. Okay. Number two, the people that do the here we go again if the Lions lose a game late in the game and blow their mind and drop those 3 banned letters and things like that. Or conversely, say, man, this is going to be a magical season because this offense on the field on that last drive, not one of them are going to end up making this team, but gosh damn it, yeah, Lion football. It blows my mind. You are right. I think both things can be true. I want to see some of those battles. I want to see some of those guys. But the outcome, especially in the fourth quarter of these games, where on both sides of the ball, there are a bunch of cats that just aren't going to make the team.
Sure.
It blows my mind. It absolutely, and 2008. You know, we can talk about it now because the Lions have moved back up.
Were we undefeated preseason?
The preseason champions, right? It's like, you guys, we're not new to this. I can understand if you're a younger person, perhaps, but a lot of people out there. But don't get me wrong, Anson, with that being said, if there's an exhibition football game on, I'm in.
Oh, sure.
I'm in. I openly admit it.
Well, it's ironic that you brought up the Pro Bowl because we were talking yesterday. When we were kids, the Pro Bowl was great.
Yep.
And, Braylon, Maz, myself, none of us have watched it in a decade plus. For me, specifically the Lions, I can't wait to see Sione Vaki take carries, catch passes. That's a guy that if Jahmyr Gibbs goes down, I think he steps directly into his role. But otherwise, we're not going to see a whole lot of Sione. Hopefully our guys stay healthy. That's a guy that I want to see get lots of touches. Giovanni Manu, not going to be playing meaningful snaps this season, but we're going to see a lot of him in the preseason. So that's the stuff that's exciting for me. We have never been spoiled in terms of draft picks and players that have been developed by Lions regimes of the old. It's so different now. Ife Melifonwu, we didn't get to watch up until this last year. So there's a bunch of guys that are slated, like Broderick. That's a guy who probably is going to get a lot of time, and we're going to get a chance to see whether or not he should be on the field when the regular season comes. So I just think that we have so much intrigue through 53, whereas it was maybe through 23 for the majority of our lives, and I do want to see those guys play.
I do too, but I will also add this, and this is what somebody once told me, that a vast majority of those decisions are already made.
Sure.
Now, there are some circumstances where they can change an opinion, by putting something on tape in that useless game against the Steelers on a Friday night, which, by the way, if you are a parent of a young kid, listen to me and listen to me carefully, all right? The best way to introduce your child to a Lions game, take them to an exhibition game. Seriously, I go to an exhibition game. Game day at Ford Field can be a little much, especially now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is turned into the social event, much like you and I were talking, like going to a Pistons game for a few years.
Oh, man.
That was a Friday night out. That
Surely.
was a social event. And so I think the same thing has happened with Lions football, and it's loud, and there's too much going on. But if you have a young kid, thank me later, take them, introduce them in one of those exhibition games. It's a perfect introduction because it's not going to blow their mind. And then you explain to them, okay, now it's going to be a lot louder the next time. And they think they're ready, but they're not.
Yeah, I imagine that's true, especially in the second half. But I'm thinking that the Lions' home preseason, it's going to be wild.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh, I really do. Yeah, I think so too. And it should be. And that's the cool thing about it. But no, all jokes aside, I guess, Pete, you're right. You're right. I don't think my issue right now is with summer. My issue is come on football.
Come on football.
Yeah.
Come on football.
No, I
football.
get that, my friend.
Yeah. 36 days. Did I mention that? 36 days until week 0? But
Can I ask you a question? Because you were talking about the importance of the Lions season. I mean, obviously, I think that in the modern Super Bowl era, that this season is the most important season ever in the Lions history.
Agreed.
But With the amount of money that the NFL could make if the Lions do win, is this the most important season ever in the history of the NFL?
Whoa.
How about that for a question? I mean, think about the important seasons repeating as champion. You have the Kansas City Chiefs team coming in trying to be the first three-peat champion. But the Lions have never been to a Super Bowl, let alone won a Super Bowl. They could make the league a lot of money if they do win. Merchandise sales, TV ratings are already been through the roof. They've already proven that with them when they've been on the national scale. I think this is the most important NFL season ever in the Super Bowl era.
I'll agree with you. It's up there, but my counterpoint to that, and I think you guys may remember this. We grew up in an era where baseball was number one.
Right.
That it was America's pastime. It was the number one sport in America. In my humble opinion, and I've talked to some people within the Lions franchise that have been in there a long time. In my humble opinion, I think maybe in the early 80s when it flipped, the whole Joe Montana to Dwight Clark, the catch, and then the Super Bowl here with, the Cincinnati Bungles. Who had no success, and the San Francisco 49ers. In my mind, that was the flip where football became king, and it is not going to relinquish the crown anytime soon. I think it's a 40-plus year run. So maybe that, but I get where you're coming from. Don't think I'm just dismissing it. I get where you're coming from.
Well, what you're comparing, I would say, kind of feels like 82, 84 in the NBA when you've got a chance to finally see Larry and Magic face off. I like where you're going with this, Pete. In terms of the modern era, the stage is set for this to be the most important year ever. And that only happens if the Lions face the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. You have the consummate losers taking on and trying to stop something that we've never seen before, which, as you mentioned, was a three-peat. So the stage is set for some absolutely amazing drama.
See, now you brought up a point that I have to touch on because I'm old enough to remember that. 1980 with Magic coming in and playing center in Game 6 and putting up 42. Okay, that was good. Larry Bird following it up the net. I think it went next level when they met in that 84 finals. I really do. It took a step. Took a step, but when they finally went head to head, Anson, that was because
and both in their prime.
If you remember, it was Lakers, Celtics, Lakers, Sixers, and then finally the Lakers and Celtics met in 84. And it's funny because it's almost common knowledge now, and you even hear old school guys go, look what Larry and Magic did. It took the league up a step.
84, 85, 86, 87. 4 straight finals between those two teams.
I think 86 was Houston, though. Remember?
81?
86 was Houston.
86?
The Twin Towers.
Oh, okay.
But you're right. 84,
You're right.
85, 87. That's insane. LA didn't keep their end of the bargain. And it really did. I mean, the league had gone like this because, Anson, you remember this as a big hoops guy. You couldn't watch the NBA Finals live. You could not. It was tape delayed. Think about that.
I'm not quite that old.
Tape delayed, baby.
I think I want to say my first finals that I watched was 86 or 87.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it was 19.
He's old. He's young.
The Magic game that I talked. A rookie comes in, Kareem's out. Okay, kid, we're going to put you at center. All right, that sounds good.
Dominate.
Pours 42 and they win the NBA title. Thanks for coming. Really, that you couldn't even watch that live.
Yeah, you couldn't watch it live.
I mean, that's insane when you think about that. The National Basketball Association. So, and I think that was a real special time, not only for the NBA, but as I said, the NFL kind of said bye-bye to baseball. Because baseball was number one at the time. Make no mistake about it. I think the older dudes would agree with that. But could you imagine, though, what you guys just described? The Lions, the ultimate losers, whether we want to admit it or not, and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
Which should have happened last season, obviously.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And the Lions win, and everybody wins because the bettors would win because the Lions would be an underdog. The league wins because the sales would be through the roof. TV ratings would be through the roof. They need the Lions to win this year.
Oh, yeah. They saved it for this year.
This is the Lions are the NFL's cash cow team.
Yeah.
You said Is it scripted? Is it already written?
Scripted,
Can I
baby?
read the script? I want to read the script so badly. I will give you a tin of chew if you let me read the script. I want to read that script so badly.
Yeah, we might be drafting 31, but I'm pretty positive we're going to be in the Super Bowl.
Where's August 24th?
He read. See, right? Thank you.
Come on. Did you ever see Shaq talk about the script in the NBA?
Yes.
I guess it was the first series, the opening series, and he overheard Phil Jackson calling and arranging hotel rooms in Indiana in round 1. And they faced off in the finals. And he's like, ever since then, he's like, I kind of know that there is a script.
Wait, he said Phil Jackson's?
Phil Jackson got on the phone with his guy that runs, back channel stuff for the team. It was like, set us up with some hotels in
That's
Indiana.
what most coaches do.
In round 1 for the finals?
They do it to be confident. What you call it? I forgot who said they did it, but I think it was LeBron said it's a couple instances. Like Doc Rivers told the team like put like $100 in the ceiling. I forgot against Lakers in like the regular season, and then he said put $100 in the ceiling, and we're gonna come back during the finals to come get our money. They did that. I think LeBron did like a similar situation. Like it's just more so to put confidence in your team. I don't really think I think there is definitely some type of influence that the refs play, but that's just to put some confidence in your team.
Remember D'Antonio in the summer of 2013? He just so happened to be out in Pasadena, and he made that video of him standing on the field at the Rose Bowl, and he said, hey, guys, I just want to let you know it's June 28th or whatever, 2013. Can't wait to see you guys here January 1st, 2014. You're the ones. You're the ones. Man, I saw that video. My pants dropped around my ankles.
It's a nice way to manifest.
Seriously, it was just like, I was ready to go. I had a play left in me. I'd probably break my scapula, but I had a play left in me. Right, is one. But here, coach, take my scapula. Yeah, you can do what you need to do. But no, and listen, we're gonna get into the Tigers later because I don't want to completely dismiss the Tigers. What helped the Tigers out immensely was the way that they finished the first half of the season. I don't need to tell you that, but here I am telling you that. Let's remember, they're still under 500. They're still 7 games back of the wild card. There are still a lot of issues with this team. And what we do around here is we drop our expectations. And I just want to caution people. I'm not saying it can't happen because there's a lot to like about this team and certainly what we saw down the stretch. But honest to goodness, right now, you just be honest with yourself. And I'm going to ask these guys this question right now. We'll get into the Tigers in mass later. Like, honestly, how realistic are you that this is, realistic? Like, Anson, seriously, are you sitting back going, yeah, man, I think we got it. I think we got a run in us.
Absolutely not. I didn't have faith in this team to be a playoff team this season. I still think that there's a lot of holes in the lineup. So the fact that they've played so well in the first half, let's face it, the last few years, this team has been a good second half team, but it's the hole that they put themselves in the first half that they were unable to escape. Now, what I read was if they play one game under 500 in the second half, they match last year's record. My issue is that that's just the same. It's, your status quo. So when you talk about adding 3 guys for one guy that plays every 5 days and you can get 15 games at that point, that is where we are. And I know people love Tarek Skubal. I know we can look at trades like Chris Sale and others that are the benchmark for this that mostly didn't turn out well for those teams. But the Pistons, let's try number 3. The Tigers.
Thought he was about to say the
It's
Red
Friday.
Wings.
The Tigers, they are just too far away for me to try and grasp onto this thing. They should be making as many moves as they can, creating as many bidding battles as they can, and truly building the foundation. They've got some good kids down low right now. They need some more. I never believed in this team. I'm honestly surprised at how good Skubal has been. But what we've seen is one of the worst droughts offensively in baseball we've ever seen. Baseball will probably make some adjustments to try and get batting back up. And there's just so few pitchers that you see dominate for 6, 8, 10 years. Jackson Holiday's too much to pass up for me, So I don't think that this team is ready to make a play for the playoffs. They need to make a play for the future.
I would disagree with that.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Here's what I'll say is all these guys that are under contract right now are all young guys, right? So, and you're trading them for more prospects that may or may not pan out. And again, it's like you got these guys on, lower guaranteed deals, so on rookie contracts still before they hit free agency. Tarek Skubal is a guy you can build around and a guy that can last. You look at the guys who have left Detroit, they've had a lot of success. If you look at Rick Porcello, you look at Anibal Sanchez, you look at that whole, that 2013 kind of era team.
Scherzer,
Verlander. So I don't think it's time. I don't think I would be buying, but I don't think I'd also be selling either, especially your core foundational pieces. And I think Jack Flaherty can be another good solid piece in that starting rotation.
I would say to add to that, I would say can't be stagnant and not be sellers nor buyers. You have to do one or the other. And I would prefer the Tigers to be buyers because I started watching basically near the end of June, start of July. That's when I started watching the Tigers more consistently, watching every game fully through. And I text Justin. I'm like,
good timing, though.
Yeah, no, I was
good timing because they've been hitting.
No, that's what I was gonna tell him. I was like, the Tigers, looking at them, I was like, they aren't bad. They just inconsistent. So I'm like, are they bad? But they're bad because they're inconsistency. So I'm like, once the team, these young pieces get together and just start being more consistent, I'm like, I feel our team, especially with the pitching, we could compete right there with anybody. I think I saw a stat that it was when the Tigers scored 2 runs, we're 41 and 29, or it was 46 and 29, something like that. We're way above 500 when our bats just hit more than 2 runs in. So it's if the Tigers can be a little bit more consistent, I can easily see us being a playoff team, even winning a series. So
I'm gonna get your back a little bit, Anson, because I'm gonna tell you what I think. The word prospect has been so bastardized, okay? You mentioned a name. Holiday isn't a prospect. No. Wait, he's major league ready. He Absolutely. Is. He's major. He's not going to be. I know he struggled when he got caught up. He's major league ready.
Alan W. said the exact same thing in the chat just now.
Yeah, I mean that, and so the problem that so many of us have, and Alan W., you're probably like me. I don't want to hear names like Kristen Stewart. I don't want to hear names like Bo Burrows. I don't want to hear names like Daz Cameron. I don't want to hear all these names that really took on a mythical proportion because it was, he's 2 years away, 3 years away. If you're going to trade one of the rare knowns that we have, you're going to load that swear jar. You're going to load that thing up. And it isn't going to be these guys. It isn't going to be the Justin Verlander deal. It isn't going to be the JD Martinez deal. It is going to be guys that I can look at that cat right now and go, yeah, he might not be able to play in Baltimore, okay? But he can join our lineup right stinking now. Yeah. Not these long-term prospects because you know what? It hasn't worked. So I think prospect can be defined 2 ways. Those wait till you see this guy 2 or 3 years from now. I want nothing to do with that. It hasn't worked here. I don't know anybody. But a guy like that, everybody and his brother knows he's this close.
They could call up Holiday and Basallo the day that they did that deal. There's a bunch of names that are being bandied about in that deal. All very young. Not low A, high A young, but those two, if they were able to get Basallo and Holiday in that deal, I would be absolutely on board. We'd get a couple extra pieces that would probably be a little further down the line. But my thing, I know pitching's crucial, especially in a low offense year. But you get 15 games out of 3 prospects or 3 ready-to-play players, or even just 10 if we're talking those 2 guys versus 1 every 5 days. So what those guys can do for your offense, which is really what we've struggled with, and yes, we've had a really strong 3-4 weeks of hitting. I just love what those guys can do for you long range.
They've teased us so long that there are a lot of people out there like me. I know all these gosh damn magical names, right, of these can't miss prospects. And almost every one of them missed.
Yeah.
Okay, whether it be guys coming over in trades, wait to see this guy's stuff, and I think because of that, a lot of us are jaded. And I will say this until my dying breath. the amount of disrespect thrown to Dave Dombrowski's name around here drives me out of my mind. I mean, it's not like he left here and had any success elsewhere, and everybody wanted to blame Dave Dombrowski for what ailed the Tiger system. Well,
Same people who pushed out Jim Leland.
Well, I mean, here's the problem. You know what ailed the Detroit Tiger system? Dave Dombrowski was smart to trade a vast majority of players who never, ever, ever turned into what they thought they were going to be. Yeah. Whether it be Cameron Maben, whether it be Humberto Sanchez, the one that Doug Fister. We can't let go of Casper Wells. How about when we brought in Anibal Sanchez? Right? Yeah. Jacob Turner. Yeah. He's going to win 71 Cy Youngs, right? And look, Jacob Turner didn't turn into anything. Rob Brantley didn't turn into anything. So I think because of that, well, yeah, that's part of why the Tiger system was crap. Because guess what? He brought in knowns for those things. And I'm a guy, give me a known over a complete unknown. But that's why I got your back. A guy like Holiday's different. Everybody knows. It's not like give him 2 or 3 years. No, he's that close. He's that close. Yeah.
If you get Holiday and Basallo and they give you Kobe Mayo, I don't know how you don't do this. I'm a huge prospects guy in, dynasty baseball, should I say. I'm not 100% that Mayo's a can't miss. I am pretty much on Basallo. I know that Holiday is ready to play. Those 3 guys could literally all get called up within the first month of them being added to this roster. I don't know how familiar you two are. I know you guys are on the other side of it. If you got Holiday, Basallo, and Mayo, where are you going with Tarek, Mr. Luca?
I'd say I'm still not trading because you're basically punting this season away. And then I bring up, we got a guy, Spencer Torkelson, first overall pick in the draft. We all thought after a 30 home run season, he's going to come back and have an even better season. And look, I'll give you, I think Holiday is really close, but you just don't know. And I think pitching, as you said, is really hard to come by. And if you're trying to win in October, you got to have a guy that you can count on, to That's keep true. You in games. And Tarek Skubal is that guy, especially since I think the Tigers' offense is to the point where it's no longer abysmal or bad. It's just streaky. And I think that's kind of where teams are. But again, we saw the Diamondbacks, last year be under 500 and go all the way to the World Series. So I think that's something to consider as well.
I'm going to say this, though. Like, you use the term male in the season, and I know that that's the last thing that people want to do around here. We've had enough of it, right? And I used this term about the Lions back in 2021, okay? The last thing in the world a Lion and a Tiger fan wants to hear is the P word, patience. That's the last thing in the world. I get it. I've been there. I mean, I had season tickets at that place for 13 years, man. I miss those days, it's October. Well, cool. I'm going to be at Comerica Park 2-3 times this week, okay? But if this team makes the playoffs this year, is that a legitimate thing? Is that a long-term thing? I don't know about that. You know what I mean? And what if they have a typical Tiger season and they oh, golly gee, we had 75 wins. And there are some people around here that want to do backflips about that, okay? And the reason why I bring up the Lions is this. Nobody wanted to hear, going back to 2021, that they were going to suck. Nobody wanted to hear it. Okay, that was the reality of it, man. They were going to suck, and they were going to suck hard. And I'm glad that they sucked hard. I mean, seriously, I'm glad that they sucked hard because guess what? You know what that does? Oh, by the way, hey, listen, the Rams kind of suck too. Wow, who knew? Stafford went out. Oh, this is great. So we're going to get 2 good picks? That's great for us. And now the key is you have to have the guy that makes it count. And Brad Holmes is the guy. We all know that. So with that being said, I mean, I get what you're saying. It would be great to have. I mean, it's been almost 10 years. It's been almost 10 years since we sat there on that park. I think I brought this up. It was the exact same moment when the Tigers were losing to the Orioles that the Bills kicked a field goal to beat the Lions, and Jim Schwartz told his players to put them on his shoulders. I mean, it was like one of the most dastardly gray October days. All these people are walking on a Ford Field like this. All these people are walking out of Comerica Park like that. And you know the reality? You knew it was over. That was the worst part for me. Like that run from 2006, in particular from 11 to 14, you just knew it was over, and that sucked. 10 years later, Like, we're not close. We aren't. So I get it. Nobody wants to talk about patience, but we have to.
Can I add a little spice into the argument here? Terry Foster brought up what I thought was an interesting point earlier today on Big D Energy, which you can hear 11-1 here on Woodward Sports.
Isn't he a pro? Listen,
there you go.
He's such a freaking pro.
Thank you.
Pyro Pete.
That's
Swear
right.
jar.
Thank you, Mr. Baligian. Anyway, but he brought up a good point. In this era of starting pitching, like starting pitching for you and I, Sean, when we go back to like the Jack Morris era, back to Jack Morris era, even further back into the 70s for you and I. Now you got guys being taken out of the games with no hitters in the 6th and 7th inning. Now, I'm a big proponent of not trading Skubal for one reason. I'm a huge lover of the power left-handed pitching. And there aren't very many super power left-handed solid arms like Tarek Skubal in Major League Baseball, which ups his value. If this is a right-handed pitcher, I would probably say, yeah, I'll trade him right now, get what you can. Having a left-handed dominant guy like Tarek Skubal is a different story, I think. But to Anson's argument, and also, again, what I'm talking about with the innings limits, to Anson's argument, is Tarek Skubal every 5 days in only 6 innings just as valuable as Jackson Holliday, who's playing 9 innings, hitting 4 times, and all the other prospects? I just think it's an interesting argument. How valuable is this? Is the trade talk that we're having going to be different if Tarek Skubal was a right-handed pitcher?
That's a good question. I will also add this to bolster your. I'm not sure that in my lifetime I've seen a better stretch from any Tiger pitcher from what he was the last month and a half through the first half of the season. And JV had some incredible stretches. And Mark the Bird Fidrich, who, I mean, for those of you that are historians, I don't really remember it. It's even a little older than me. Anibal Sanchez, I think people forget. Remember when just K-ing guys left and right. He was phenomenal in the beginning of 2013. Scherzer, Fister. I'm not sure that we've seen a run like this, continuous run like this out of many pitchers in this time. And oh, by the way, he's a lefty.
He's a lefty.
And 10-3 on a punchless team,
right,
is impressive. I to be honest, I hadn't looked at his win-loss record. I was figuring he's probably more around like 7-4 or 8-5, just because of the lines. The Tigers have been so bad. He is a dog. He's amazing. He's the best pitcher in fantasy, so I don't know how good he's been in reality, but. You've made some great points, all three of you guys. And when you put in a record like 10-3 on a team that struggles so bad offensively, even though he's only giving you 6-7 innings once every 5, he's winning games.
He's winning the game.
Yeah, I was going to say to Pete's point, like if he's only playing every 5 days, but he's like getting you, if the Tigers, like I just looked up here, when they score 2 runs, they're 45-28. So if he's able to just hold the team to like 1 run, I think his ERA is like 2 right now. So if he's able to
41,
so if he's able to
3.
so if he's able to hold those teams to 2 runs, and the Tigers are able to score more than 2 runs, you're basically saying that every time Tarek Skubal is going out there, you're winning the game. So if it's like that, like you can ensure that you have a player that's ensuring you wins, like Jackson Holliday and those other batters, like they would be able to ensure you runs. But you have a pitcher that's going to be able to like almost ensure you wins. I would kind of still look at that as a little bit more valuable.
I love whip. I openly admit I probably put too much into it. Okay,
but his is like
guess what? When 0.88. When you're not putting guys on base, guess what?
Right.
I like your chances of winning.
Yep.
Even with an anemic offense like this, if you're not putting people on base, man, I like your chances of winning.
He's second in the league, 0.88.
Yeah. Listen, when we come back, Anson came in all fired up about something. And this was part of what we were talking about early on. After they all got done yelling at me because they want their summer. Okay, just give me college football. We'll come to an agreement. Anson was all fired up about something. And I think he's right. And it comes into a bigger point as well. How do you own a number? We'll talk about it when we come back. This is Woodward Sports.
Nope. There you go, Sean.
Oh, what am I doing right here?
You are doing Boys and Girls Club, 3C Sports.
Join the best youth football league in Metro Detroit, the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League. They offer youth ages 5 to 14 with 6 exciting teams to choose from in Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. Register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, transportation, all included for a chance to play for a championship at Ford Field for just $175 per child. Put the youth back in youth sports with BGCSM 3C Sports.
Planet, it's a fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment-friendly and knowledgeable staff and totally judgment-free atmosphere. Where we have all the perks, don't forget to update to that black card for $24.99 a month. For more information or join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or head to planetfitness.com. We'll be right back.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 and make your dreams come true. Anson.
You guys know what awesome is because you can see it in the background every single Woodward broadcast. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an absolutely amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back and relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Have you guys followed this? Troy Aikman, Lamar Jackson, Troy Aikman insanity.
Battle for the Snowman?
It is really, it's insane, dude.
I wonder if Ocho Cinco's going to get involved.
Oh, that's 85.
And there's an Ocho in it, all right? ESPN Ocho's fired up, man. There's a lot of people mad
There's
right
an
now.
Ocho inside of it. Ocho in there. Anson, the best way to say this, you know what? I'm just going to read verbatim from the story. If you guys haven't been following this,
This
okay?
one's wild.
This one is crazy. So Lamar Jackson is challenging Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Troy Aikman's use of their shared number 8. Jackson, who owns or has applied for several trademarks using the number in various phrases, said Aikman's attempt to use the word 8, the word EIGHT, on apparel and bags would, quote, I'm not making this up. Gosh, lawyers are the best. Likely to cause confusion or cause mistake or to deceive. You know, because he's using the word 8.
Well, let me just hop in right here, and I need to preface this. I am a massive Lamar Jackson fan.
That's two of us.
Love him. But I'm on his website right now, and it reads era the number 8 apparel.com. It's not spelled out. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but LeBron tried to trademark Taco Tuesday. Okay. So you're talking about tacos, you're talking about Tuesdays, you're talking about something that people have been eating on Tuesdays for decades. This falls in the same type of thing. I mean, we went crazy on numbers 33, 66, 8. I mean, I'm sure that you guys in the chat, we'd love it if you threw a like on the chat on YouTube. But if you guys want to go in the chat and list some numbers, everybody else in the chat's going to give you a different superstar.
Right.
That is who they,
You got it.
You know, that's who they associate with.
Right.
So let me ask you, 33, who's your association?
Patrick Waugh.
Larry
Yes.
Bird.
Right.
Number 8,
Bird.
Alex Ovechkin. Shocker, I'm picking hockey guys.
Kobe Bryant.
Right.
You know, I mean, we go on and on and on. So to me, when I think of 8, I don't think of Aikman. I don't think of Lamar. You know, this is news to me, this era 8 apparel. Where's this going to go, Sean?
It is that, and you said this, how do you patent a number?
Right.
How do you do that?
Right.
And Pete brought this up, okay? Around here, he's number 9. He's Gordie Howe. What more needs to be said? But, like, you go to Montreal, you know what? Maurice Rocket-Richard. And it was funny when they had their 100th birthday party, who was there wearing his number 9 jersey, holding the Habs number 9, his deceased friend's jersey. Like Gordie Howe was there holding Rocket-Richard's number 9 out of respect and everything.
That's cool.
So there aren't, and this is where we want to talk to you guys. To your point, Anson, how many guys can say, okay, that's the guy that everybody's going to think of, right? That's a number 99 is Wayne Gretzky. It'll always be Wayne Gretzky. That nobody else. I think that's one. Mario Lemieux, number 66.
42, Jackie Robinson.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah,
that's,
you could say
that's
that.
42 for sure.
Yeah, you could. But here, let me also add this though. Okay, what about the people that had no idea about Jackie Robinson?
Right.
Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, he was the last one wearing the number actively.
Right, whether we want to admit it or not, if I say number 42, somebody who's not like a historian is probably
Ronnie
gonna go,
Lott, baby. That's what I'm thinking about.
I mean, and I think that's what a lot of that's kind of the point of it. It depends who you talk to. And, you know, surely, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from Troy Aikman, okay? Aikman had an illustrious career. 3-time Super Bowl champion, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff, okay? And I would say the same thing that you said about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson doing what he's done with what's been at his disposal. I mean, let's face it, it's Mark Andrews and a bunch of number 4 wide receivers around him is awesome. But bro, you're not number 8. Like, sorry, you don't got the market cornered on number 8.
All right, I want to go around the room and see if each one of you guys has one number that you would say no one else is associated with this but.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody want to start?
Oh, easy for me. I mean, we already discussed it. It's 66.
Okay. I mean,
Now
to
that
me-
guy annoyed the living you know what out of me with his buddy Yaromir Yager next to him.
Ooh, Yasiel
But
Puig.
he was so freaking
Yasiel
good.
Puig.
Yasiel Puig.
You know what's funny though is yesterday I was watching, I think maybe on Twitter, and there was this guy that went around and asked about 20 people, who is this?
Yeah.
And a dozen of them said Yaromir Yager, and it was 66.
That's 66. Yeah, he was
But-
68.
I know, but then
Wow.
it's one of those ones where people from,
They
and I
don't
believe they were all
understand.
in Pittsburgh too, and they're looking at it, they're like, oh, that's Yager.
Well, they get their mullets mixed up.
There
the
you go.
mullets are mixed
They
up.
did look super similar on that line together. What about you, Joel?
I really can't think of one. I would think 30 for Steph Curry, but then it's like, because like I don't really 30 is like a nasty number on anybody else in my
Yeah, I
opinion.
can't really think of any other 30s. That's a good one.
That you could make a legitimate argument for.
99
No,
for Wayne Gretzky.
for sure.
Oh, I got a good 30. Corey Schlesinger.
Hey,
I don't even know who that is.
Stanford?
Huh?
Did he come from Stanford?
I
Schlesinger?
think he did.
Nebraska.
Yeah. Nebraska.
That's right.
Yeah,
Same
Nebraska.
colors.
I
Same
see.
colors.
The only and I'm not saying this compares to Steph, but Chris Knuckles Nyland.
Yeah,
you
there
know,
you go.
you know the fighter
Chris
back
Nealon,
in the
yeah.
day.
Chris
Griffey
Nyland,
worth
yeah.
30.
What about you, Luca?
Ken Griffey worth 30. That'd be the only confusion.
I thought Ken Griffey wore.
That's a
24.
great
I
one.
thought I was about to say he wore 24.
24.
The Reds, he wore 30.
24.
Oh, you talking about his dad?
And 30.
No, when he was with the Reds,
He wore
30.
30. Did he really? I
Yeah.
never knew that. No.
Yeah, no.
crap.
See, it's
You got one?
No, because Mario and Wayne are the only two that I can think of. That
I got
you
Oh,
one.
could say-
Sheed had 30.
I got
Wilson won, said Sheed had 30 in 04.
I was going to
I
say
got
Kobe,
one.
24.
Number 23.
LeBron.
No.
Jordan.
No. No.
I mean, you're going to say
Take
LeBron.
that back.
Gibson. Kirk Gibson.
LeBron.
Kirk Gibson.
You think of LeBron when you hear 23, Joel?
Gibby.
Mike Trout wore 23,
Jordan,
don't he too?
Gibby.
It's a generation game, dude.
Jordan,
Seriously.
Gibby.
Bro, we don't respect Jordan like how y'all do. Like y'all look at him, y'all would kiss the ground Jordan walked on. We more so look.
No.
That was a great weekend. Take care.
Yeah, that's the end of the show.
Y'all would kiss the
I
ground
get
you
it
walk on.
because you never watched him.
I mean, you could. We in an era where we could I've easily went back and watched hardwood classics.
Oh, yeah, you mean the same 3 games they play over and over
You
and
can.
over for the last
We're in
5
an
minutes?
era. I can go back. I can literally. You can literally give me a game. I can type it in and I can watch the full game. I promise to God.
get
I
what
can.
you're listen. I get what you're saying, and this is why I hate generational arguments. Okay, because whether we like it or not, we turn into our dads, right? That guy, I saw Gale Sayers. Barry Sanders is no Gale Sayers.
money
Okay,
is players making today?
listen to me, and Anson. I know this is your wheelhouse, but as a guy who grew up in that era, I hated Michael Jordan with every fiber of my being.
Absolutely.
No, I get that. Yeah.
I wanted to punch his face so badly. I swore off Gatorade. I wore Adidas my whole life. Look, I still wear freaking Adidas to this day, okay? But there came a point in time with that son of a gun, I couldn't deny it anymore.
No, yeah,
and
I get
can
that.
tell you exactly when it was for me. You know what? It was the 92 NBA Finals when he went off against Portland. Remember when he went off the and he did that? He looked at Magic. You got it. That was exactly it. I see you in there doing that. And he looked at Magic and kind of shrugged like, I don't know what to say. And I fell to the ground weeping, going, Lord, forgive me, but he's the best. He's the greatest ever. It just, I couldn't fight it anymore, Anson.
Joel, what number is Kobe Bryant?
I'm 24.
Yeah.
That's what number he would even want to be associated with more.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Fro Kobe was tough, though, man.
I think Michael was so good he owns 45 and 23. That's just,
What number is LeBron James to you?
What you call it? LeBron is 6 and 23.
Oh, he gets both, huh?
Yeah, see? Bro, he's played 21 years. He didn't play a good amount of years in both numbers. So it's like,
But that's
I think
he's not 23
LeBron,
because he's caught between both. Iconic 23.
You can look at a LeBron highlight. You can see iconic highlights in 6 and 23. You can. So it's like
6
just
losses
like
in
just
the
how
finals.
Sean just tried to
6 losses in the finals
because he made
That's the number
10.
he owns right there.
He's made 10 finals.
You know what Jordan has? He got 6
All right,
rings.
wait. Okay. So
6-0.
Okay.
That is such a
So
W.
can you listen now? So did Jordan only play 6 years?
No, he actually.
Did Jordan only
took
play 6
2
years? Now he
off.
quiet.
No, he took 2 years off.
But did Jordan? You
He
saying
would've won
6
8
rings?
in a row.
He was
Okay.
suspended.
You
He was
can't say
suspended
that.
for gambling, so that's why he took 2 years off.
Jordan got his dad killed, man. I ain't here for
disagree
that.
with you, my
I ain't
boy.
here for that.
I don't disagree.
He can't be my goat. He can't be my goat for that reason. He can't be my goat for that reason.
And
Thanks for watching the show. Now the show is over. Thanks for watching.
You need to go to that one where it's just like the rainbow.
Bars and Toes National.
Look, Cody
National
Ingles.
Anthem's about to play.
Let me
Good night,
segue
everybody.
and stay on the same point. I watched something fascinating last night, and it was a story about the top 50 players in NBA history. You weren't born yet, but they did this before 75, all right? You were part of the 75. Back in the 90s, they did the top 50 of all time, right? Wilt Chamberlain was still alive. And so Bill Russell and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were hanging out, just bull stuffing and having drinks. Swear jar.
Yeah, there it is.
And, excuse me, Fox, too. But another pair was sitting on the other side fighting. And that was Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan. And they did this for an hour over who was the best and the most dominant. And as they were asked to leave, Wilt Chamberlain, the most dominating player in any sports history, as he always did, got the final word. And he said, the difference between you and I, Mike, is that when you played, they changed the rules to help you. They changed the rules to stop me. We wouldn't have goaltending if it weren't for him. We wouldn't have 3-second violation if it weren't for him. I mean, when you break down Wilt's numbers, he
Free
might not
throw
have
line.
the
You
rings,
can't
but
dunk from the
nobody
free throw line,
dominated
too.
like that man did. What number was he?
13.
Oh, I am impressed, young man. That's a Spartan education right there, my friend.
But I would say with Wilt though, it's like they did do all that to stop him, but also at the same time, when you really watch basketball get played, if we were still able to do stuff like that, would we enjoy the game as much? We would probably, but it would be like with the athletes we got in there now, you would like Wemby, like you literally the Spurs would probably be the most unstoppable team ever because they would just plop him right in front of the rim and be like, no, you're not gonna. He swatting. He would be able to swat literally everything. So it's like you kind of had to add some of those rules. But it's just like he was at a point where the NBA was unprecedented, so he was doing unprecedented things. So they had to form some type of rules for him.
My last point on Wilt, if you get a chance, Google the 1993 All-Star game, which was Shaq's rookie year. And they got Shaq, Kareem, and Mr. Wilt Chamberlain meeting at half court. And Wilt does the old Donald Trump handshake. I don't know if you guys know that, but Donald loves to grab you, pull you right in. Right. And you watch. He shakes Shaq around like he's a small forward.
Yeah, Alan W. brings up a great point. He says Jordan.
Second point.
He said Jordan ended the bad boys Piston and LeBron ended the going to work Pistons. But it's all right, guys. You can still appreciate greatness. They both ended.
Well,
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
He didn't finish the bad boys. You're right, because they didn't have Rick Mahorn and Isaiah's hand and metacarpals and wrists.
It's more so the image that is left in the heads of the bad boys Pistons. It's like the nail in the coffin, like walking off salty too, not shaking hands. Yeah, but then you got LeBron putting up 29 straight points on us. Like
without Ben Wallace,
we're Laker dynasty killers.
No,
never forget that.
Without Ben Wallace, let's remember that too. That 07 team did not have Ben Wallace, and I think LeBron was going.
Those are the nails in the coffin. That's what I'm saying.
Quite frankly, I think you're dismissing the 08 Pistons as well. Who gave the Celtics all they could handle that series.
All they had to do was
really
play
did.
Aaron Aflalo against Paul Pierce. He was getting 8-9 minutes a game. You give that man 16 to 18 minutes and we win.
Yeah, so like to me, that was the last one, and the last playoff.
No, I get that point, but more so when I saw that, it's like that was like even though being super young, seeing that it was like, okay, we're probably not gonna be able to beat him. Yeah. That's what that told me.
I think we would have smoked the Lakers that year too. Oh wait, I really do.
Yes,
I think we would have smoked that.
Either one of those teams
variation
coming out of the
Lakers.
East was winning.
Yeah, that's. But I get the point. But it's funny because again, getting back to the Lamar Jackson, Troy Aikman thing, they both have they both wear it well. But how the hell do you own a number? I mean, here we are. You're not watching the show right now unless you're a pretty big sports fan, right? I mean, how many numbers can we think of where you say that dude owns that number? And what I mean by that is, like, all 6 of us have to agree with it in here, right?
Right.
I mean, like you said, 9. Well, I could make an argument for another 9. You could say 13. I could make an argument for a few 13s. And that's the crazy thing about this. Now, I don't know what the legalese is. You know, you're going to have to get your lawyer on it and everything, but my gosh, I can't imagine that standing.
We could go 00 to 99, and we'd all have different people.
Right.
What about you,
Well,
Pete?
I was just going to bring up a little caveat because to Sean, obviously we have a really, really good topic here, but the price to have your own number, the number, to be known as a number is extremely high because there aren't, again, we just went through a list. We have to, like Sean said, we would all have to agree for this person to be known by number. I'm going to give you an example because coincidentally we're discussing this. I read something interesting last night. Just humor me here real quick. Maz would love this because Maz is a big boxing fan. Max Baer, when he had the world championship, he only had one defense and he lost it to James Braxton. I think it was... James Braddock. He lost to James Braddock.
James J. Braddock?
James J. Braddock. James J. Braddock only had one defense of his title, and that was a loss to Joe Louis. Now, I don't know how many boxers you guys have met. I've been fortunate to meet a few boxers here and there. Every single boxer I've met always calls other boxers that they meet champ. Hey, champ, how are you? There's only one boxer that Joe Louis ever called champ, and that was James J. Braxton. It was the only one he ever called champ. And think of all the fighters that Joe Louis faced. So he basically crowned, in his mind that James J. Braxton is the champion to him. And I just think that that's an ultimate respect. And that's how important I think it is to own a number and to own a title.
And, I think as humans, I think most of us cement those numbers and those guys in our personal lore in our first 25 years.
Yep.
Because guys that are, I don't care how great Wemby ends up being, he's never going to be Wilt to me. Mm-hmm. He may not even be a Olajuwon to me, and he may end up going down better than both of them.
Yeah. No, it is interesting. And I think, Anson, that goes back to whether you want to admit it or not. A lot of people in whatever age you are, you're convinced that this guy's the best. I'm not, and let me tell you why. Bigger, stronger, faster is real. It is. I mean, all you have to do, open your eyes, pay attention, go look. Forget about looking at the numbers about how guys are faster, guys are taller, and all that stuff. Watch the game. I challenge people, especially the NFL. Go watch what was considered a golden era of the National Football League, and we were talking about this earlier in the first hour, that early 90s. Mm-hmm. Dallas, Frisco, every year, all right, well, who's going to win, Dallas or Frisco? It seemed like it was that way, 4 years in a row, okay? Go watch some of those
era
games.
Of the running back. That's the era of the running back, baby.
Go watch some of those games. It looks so slow. It was compared to what the league is today, man, it looks so slow.
Yeah. I mean, it was a different style, but in the last 20 years, you've had such a change. Not only has sports medicine and sports science gained and gotten so much stronger, but I think the fact that guys like in your generation, when I was coming up, I had to go to a basketball camp. I had to find a local gym and maybe a local coach that would spend some time with me. You can go online and find footwork, handwork, ball handling drills. You can call up and go. I mean, our man Luca's got his own thing going on now. And you have this opportunity to, even if your parents don't have the money to send you to these camps or buy you the equipment, all you have to do is turn on YouTube and you can find all these instructional videos on foot placement, hand placement, all of these things. But then on top of that, you add in the sports science. So as much as you can look at the 50s and 60s basketball, and most of those guys aren't going to translate, some 6-foot white boy that's running a 4.7 40. But if you take Will Chamberlain, who ran a 4.45 and was a national high jump champion, and you put him in the current training, exercises and things that they have for these guys, there are a few guys, Elgin Baylor being one of them.
I agree with
guys
you.
like that. If you put them now, they
Bill
translate.
Russell would.
Yeah,
Bill
absolutely.
Russell would.
He was an athlete. Absolutely.
Yeah. Bob Cousy, not so much.
There's a big thing in eras, and I know a lot of the younger guys like to say, "Oh, well, look at the way they were playing the game by then." There are some transcendent human beings that would play in any era.
No doubt about that. No doubt. Listen, though, guys, point blank, the bigger, stronger, faster is real. I don't know how it can be denied. And for some of the reasons that you just gave, that's the way it is. Yep. Now, does that mean that crazy people that tell me that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan are right? No, they're absolutely dead wrong. Dead wrong. And I hate that, man. All right, we got a break. When we come back, talk a little bit about Tigers' chances in the second half. Don't you go anywhere. He's Anson. I'm Sean. The gang's all here at Woodward Sports.
That's right, everybody. And you want to give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box realtors with one major difference. Family locally owned and operated for over 30 years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts there to help you. Same day, local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best at premierpetsupply.com. Also, Dr. Pierce is part of our team. He is the Woodward Sports Network Injury Insider. Attention sports fans, do not miss out on our injury insights with Dr. Jeff S. Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday during Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to help you and keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9942. We will be right back.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men. It's wicked awesome.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? That's why it's a new era in sports wearables. New designs, American apparel, and the ultimate swag. Couldn't get your Buddha and Kids shirt for this upcoming Lions season. So check out Woodward Sports Ladies Gear at woodwardsports.com and click shop. Hoodies, tees, and the hats are guaranteed to turn heads. Get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com and click shop.
Great business for over 50 years. You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford does by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet together. That's right. Let's drive.
Sometimes I dream. Now listen, we were just talking about this in the break, okay? Now I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
He is me.
You were singing that song word for word, okay? What are you, 19? Seriously, how old are you? Do you mind me asking?
No, it's good. 22.
You're 22 years old, okay? I want you to think about that. Anson, just stick with me for a second. You're 22 years old. Michael Jordan has been done forever. That song was out 32 years ago. That son of a bitch has ruined my life.
Easy. Sorry, Fox 2.
I can say that. He's a son of a female dog. That man has ruined my life.
It's a female dog, Sean.
Do you understand? Like if that doesn't speak to the power of Michael Jordan, all right? That guy, Nike.
LeBron hasn't been retired yet to know.
Sing the LeBron song. Go ahead. Oh, wait.
It's Taco Tuesday.
Listen, a generation of participation trophies will always embrace a man that went 3-6 in the finals. All right?
4.
Now, 4? You got 4 now?
Yeah, he's got 4.
Oh, the bubble one counts in your book?
That one definitely counts.
Now let's talk about.
He didn't even want to be in the bubble. He said, "I don't want to." They literally voted to not be in the bubble, and he went and won the championship. If that's like saying, "I don't want to be here," but hey, I'm gonna still go win it.
Took that layoff and still found a way.
Asterisk.
Well, load management helps. So let's.
Do you put an asterisk by 3-1 then?
Everyone was dealing with
3-1 when he came back from 3-1.
In that series?
I'm saying, do you put an asterisk by that then?
No.
Okay.
Was it in the bubble?
No, I thought you was gonna be one of those people that say, "Well, Draymond got suspended in Game 6." I thought you was gonna say that.
No,
that one's close, but there's that doesn't get an asterisk in my book. I would have liked to see Draymond, but that doesn't guarantee that they'd win the game. Now, talking about Michael Jordan commercials, there is one that I loved that I probably watched for about 2 months straight to start my day, and that is the "Look into my eyes."
Oh, God.
Remember that one?
Yes.
That one was awesome.
Will you find that?
I can't play it due to copyright, but I hear you.
That one was great, though, wasn't it?
Picture over.
Look into my eyes.
But do you understand, though? I mean, you're 22 years old, man, and you're in that room right now singing that godforsaken song, okay? That came out. He was singing it word for word.
I didn't know that.
And that's what I said. I said to myself, I go, oh, he doesn't know what I'm going to do. He does. If that doesn't talk about the impact that guy had.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he's the GOAT. He is. That song came out 32 years ago. You weren't born for 10 years. Your mother was in 3rd grade when that song came out, okay? You know, and you know that song word for word. He's unbelievable. I hate saying it, but he is. He's unbelievable.
You know, I should send this over to Sean, but I'm going to read it real quick.
Right.
ChatGPT was asked the top 10 athletes of all time. Do you know
Blood
who does
is
not
bringing
appear
up
on
ChatGPT
on AI's list? Mr. 6/23.
I don't even care who not on there. Tell me who is on there.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Number
too.
1. Guess who number 1 is?
Michael Phelps.
Come on. No. It's Michael Jordan, the man who influenced the entire globe.
Is it really number 1?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Number 2 is Serena Williams. Number 3 is Usain Bolt. Number 4, Muhammad Ali. Number 5, Pele. Number 6, number 42, Mr. Jackie Robinson. Your boy Michael Phelps comes in at 7. Roger Federer at 8. Babe Ruth 9. And the Argentinian Lionel Messi, number 10.
Wow.
Bias.
Wow.
ChatGPT, man, that's all the knowledge in the history of the world. Look at Joel find that's funny.
Kind of disrespecting the great one. I got to be honest with you.
Where's Gretzky?
Where's Gretzky?
That's my craziest. Like, seriously, if Wayne Gretzky never scored a goal in his career,
Right.
he finished his career with no goals. He never scored, okay?
Right.
He has more points than anybody else.
Right, I love that
real?
stat.
It's real.
You don't know that's
It's
the best
absolutely
stat.
real.
I love that stat.
He never scored.
That's a true stat.
All of his what? 894
His
goals
assists.
gone.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Sheesh.
They're
He
disappeared.
has so many assists.
He had more assists than anybody else had points.
I imagine
Okay.
that this Jackie
Freak.
Robinson, that the computer, artificial intelligence was reading all of the impact that Jackie Robinson had, similar to the impact that Jordan had. Jackie Robinson's number is retired on every team in the MLB. He changed the game. But in terms of his ranking as an actual player, he's not in the top 5 of all baseball, right?
No.
So if I would take Jackie Robinson, despite his incredible historical significance, off this list, then yes, the great one should certainly be on there.
Number 1 player of all time is Willie Mays. Period. End of story. Period. End of story. It's Willie Mays.
Can I make the argument for Babe Ruth?
No.
I'm serious.
You can't.
He said no.
I honestly, personally, I don't think he can because his fielding wasn't even close to Willie Mays.
Well, because he was pitching darts.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's. I
No,
mean,
no, no.
seriously,
He was a great pitcher.
A guy
for sure.
that's what I'm saying. A guy that's hitting bombs and arguably one of the best pitchers of his era. Man, that's Ohtani crap.
No, I
Swear
hear you.
jar.
I hear you.
Well, Ohtani at the end of his, and this is comparing a new era, which, us old guys don't normally do. But at the end of his career, much like Wemby, at the end of his career, it's going to be a very difficult argument to knock those guys off the top, I
Right.
think.
Right. No, and
where's Ted Williams on that list? Do you know
Yeah,
how hard it
that's
is
a
to hit
guy
a
that should be
baseball?
in
Do you
there,
know how
too.
hard it is to hit
Jeez,
a round bat to a round ball?
Usain Bolt at 3 is a little
Too
mystifying.
high. Like
Yeah.
they
Guy's
giving him
fast,
too
though.
much credit. I ain't gonna lie.
no, you know what's interesting?
You arguing with the computer, aren't you?
I'll
How about
argue.
Ty Cobb? Too?
I'll argue with anybody.
My smart brother over there.
Yeah,
Let's
I'll
go.
argue with anybody.
That's the crazy thing about today, and I think unfortunately, and I specifically blame ESPN for this. Okay, so many people are infatuated with who's next as well.
Yeah.
I mean, here, like, mad respect to you, all of you guys, for bringing up some guys from yesteryear, long before even old dudes like me, where I never saw Will. But you know what? I'm one of those guys. I appreciate that kind of stuff, and I think part of the problem, especially when I talk to the younger ones today, okay, like every guy is the next generational talent. Not
Well, to be fair, though, if you're over 40, nobody can touch the guys from the past.
Oh, it's
so like the young generation, they're always looking forward, and us old guys are always denying the future.
Well, I think for me though, the term generational talent has been bastardized, because if 15 guys are dubbed generational talent, well, are they really generational talents? You know what I mean? And I think especially like in drafts, like, this guy, generational talent. Can't he just be a damn good player? Or dare I say even great? Yeah. One can be great, but not a generational talent. To me, I think, and I'm going to get my boy Shep's back, okay? I think the word
old Shep
great has been bastardized too. I really do. You know what? You know who I want to call great? A guy where all 6 of us can sit back, regardless of your feelings for LeBron James, okay? Is LeBron James great? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like that's who we should call great,
But
right?
Top 3 player all time.
He is absolutely a generational talent. I think that the hopes and putting that label of a generational talent on an upcoming prospect player, it's hope. But every 20 years, there's really no more than 5 generational talents per sport.
Bam.
Last 20 years, Kobe, LeBron, Steph.
In the 2000s, Steph definitely.
Those 3.
KD, if you're saying generational scorer.
But KD, to me, as great as he was and as much as he changed the game, he's right on that edge of it. And if we're talking KD, I'm not going to disagree with you.
I could
but he's
agree
around
with you.
that 4 or 5 guy. Once you get past him, there's nobody. Now we're in this next block, this next 20 years. You're looking at
that's
Anthony
a good one,
Edwards.
Tim Duncan for
You're
sure.
looking at Wemby. Duncan absolutely is in there. but you go to baseball and you can look at a handful of guys. And I think, every 20 years, you maybe have 15 to 20 guys that come out in your drafts that you're looking and hoping for that generational talent. But in terms of guys that actually hit, where there's the only thing that you're disputing is whether they're better than Jordan, there's only a few every 20 years.
No, that's you're exactly right, Nate. I think you bring up a great point because, like, I'm racking my brain in the NFL. We were talking about this during the break, okay? I brought up my epiphany when I said enough. Like, I can't argue this anymore. I am letting hate and the BS that went on with the Pistons cloud my vision of what Michael Jordan is, and I had to let it go. I hit that point with Tom Brady as well. I did. I was one of those guys. I sat back and I said, you cats never saw Joe Montana. And I made the same kind of arguments that you were just making over there. He went to 4 Super Bowls.
Right.
He's 4-0. Okay, how'd that work out, Brady? Honestly, for me, you know when it flipped? When they came back against the Falcons, the 28-3 game. I sat there. I was at Fox 2 that night. I was with Miller. We were getting ready to do the show, and I said, "Okay, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm sounding like an a-hole. Yeah. Like Tom Brady's the best. Period. That's it. I'm done. I can't, regardless of where he went to school. I'm looking at both you guys. Regardless of where he went to school, okay, I have to acknowledge this. And I'm telling you what, guys, whether we want to admit it or not, I have a sneaking suspicion, and I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse yet. I have a sneaking suspicion that we might be talking that way about number 15.
Mahomes,
I'm very serious.
I already do. I literally said Mahomes.
Now you said better than Brady.
Look,
now.
Yes, I use the. Listen. Can y'all listen?
All right,
can we let cooler heads prevail? So look.
Joe's on fire today. Let me just say, my man is on fire today.
So listen, I said Mahomes I'm just using my foresight. That's just what I'm using. I'm like, from what Mahomes has came in and did, like straight domination as soon as he walked in, like going to straight conference finals, Super Bowls, winning Super Bowl. The literally only person he's lost to is Brady and Burrow now, if you want to add that on. But I'm like, he's already won 3 Super Bowls. He's 3 Super Bowl MVPs. And like, he still had, and the fact that he's mobile, he's just not like a pocket quarterback, but he can also make those same type of reads as a Brady. He's cerebral like a Brady. Like, you don't want the ball in Mahomes' hands, so he's beating the choker charges. Like, he's beating those. Like, you can't say he can't read the offense, because you can't say he can't be a pocket passer, because he can be a pocket passer. He really only escapes when he needs to escape. So it's just like, and he's probably got like 7 to 10 more years left to play. So it's like, on top of that, I'm just saying, like, based off how he's playing and the teams that he's been surrounded with, and he's been able to do a little. He's been able to do a lot with a little. He's been able to do a lot with a lot. So it's just like,
he's on that path, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm using my foresight to.
No problem. Like Flannel Sam right now, it's just all his clothes are off. He's
Patty pennies, baby.
He's running around with 15s all over his body. But listen, like. And I always use your guy LeBron as an example. I think one of the most dastardly things ESPN has done for about a decade plus now is talk about a guy's legacy before his career's long over. And Anson, if you remember when the Heat went to that finals against Dallas and they lost to Dallas, that was ESPN for 3 or 4 straight days. What is LeBron's legacy now? What the hell are you talking about? You mean... We got another 13 years of LeBron James, so it was a dumb argument to have. So based on that, we can say he's on that trajectory. We can have that conversation soon, but not yet. Let's wait until it's all said and done and look at it in its totality.
I'm just saying, as a quarterback, you can't like just use your eyes and see that like the way Patrick Mahomes plays quarterback,
he's insane,
is better than the way
it is.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like,
you can't. That's a great point.
That's just more so the point that I get at. It's like
the issue is
I don't think he's gonna have to get to 7 rings, because 7 rings is just unprecedented. Like,
yeah.
If you want to say that's the case, then yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt. We have 2 super chats. I just want to throw them out here real quick. Our boy Dante, who really, honestly, Dante, seriously, thanks very much for daily support of the show monetarily. We really do appreciate that. Dante 151, gift of $4.99, says you can't forget about Doc Ellis, who threw a no-hitter on June 12th, 1970.
And what was he doing? What was he doing at the time?
Later, he accomplished that feat Pete under the influence of LSD.
Yeah.
And then Byrne with a
acid.
$5 donation. And Byrne has also donated to us in the past. And he says, 5 for my 5 cents. But actual generational talents tend to be overlooked and slip through the cracks. Jordan and Barry weren't number 1 in the draft. Just wanted to throw those 2 super chats out there, guys.
Good point.
Can I drop something on you guys for Pat Mahomes to strengthen your case, Joel? Okay.
Listening.
Up against 27 points in his career, he has won 55% of his games when the opponent scored 27 points.
Insanity.
The next closest in history is Tom Brady at 41%. Goff, mid-30s, which is spectacular. The majority of all quarterbacks are 25 to 20% wins against 27 points scored against or less. When you have a guy that can overcome that kind of stuff, I mean, obviously he had Tyreek for a minute and he's had Kelsey the entirety, but name one of their running backs. I mean, I'm sure we can.
They've been cycling through them.
Yeah, and you look at their wide receivers since Tyreek left. I mean, nobody
Cycling
of
through.
note. Even Rashee Rice had a nice minute, but he might not even play this year. You know, this guy overcomes no matter what it is.
I'm with you. I'll go back to what I said at the very start of this. We're going to have that conversation one day. I'm convinced of it. So I like how you use foresight. Yeah, we're going to have that conversation. I'm convinced.
Well, especially if KC wins their 3rd in a row.
Oh, man. He might
Especially
be
if they win 3 in a row.
All bets are off.
All bets are off.
If he wins 3 in a row,
all bets are off.
They'll have that conversation the next day who's better.
No, the very next day. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, we'll have it while the game's going on.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think you have to take this into account, though. The era in which we're playing in is a vastly different era than the one Tom Brady started in. You look at guys that Peyton Manning played in, Drew Brees, and even the John Elways of the world. You want to bring that up. So I think you have to take that into account, though, when you're looking at his numbers and things. It is an offensive era, no doubt about it. And so when you look at the passing statistics and the numbers and things, I think you have to take that into account. Do I think he'll be a top 5 quarterback all time? Yes. I think you can make the argument he's probably close to that 5 mark, definitely top 10. But, I think you have to take eras into account when you have that conversation.
And with that being said, I'm going to go to bat for Dan Marino, who I think is chronically underrated. Okay, because today's era is used to 48 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. He did that in a year. I thought there was something wrong.
In his rookie year.
Like, seriously, it was his second year, right?
Second year.
That's one year he made the Super Bowl, too.
I thought there was something wrong with the guy.
Right.
Like, wait, 48 touchdowns? Guys didn't throw 48 touchdowns. 5,000 yards? You didn't do that back then. So I think sometimes, and to your point, we get wrapped up in the rings. I get it. I do. I totally get it. But nobody can tell me, based on that argument, okay, he was doing things no other human had done before. 5,000 yards and 48 touchdowns, not just beating it by a little bit, blowing it away, man. And so because of that, I agree with you. This game today, whether people wanted to, I remember arguing with people 10 years ago about this. They are punishing defenses today.
Oh, yeah.
That is the National Football League today. They are punishing defenses. They want the pretty passing numbers. They want to protect
defenses
the
aren't allowed to punish them anymore.
Right. That's and so all those things that Chris Spielman said back in the day are all true. All right. Well, why don't we just put, all that crap is true. All right. But with that being said, yeah, we're used to these numbers now. All right. But I think this is where it goes beyond statistical stuff, and both you guys brought this up. My eyes tell me that Patrick Mahomes does things that other humans haven't done at that position, man. He really is one of one. So you got the numbers, you got the Super Bowls, and you got him doing things.
The eye test.
Yeah, it is. It really, I mean, to me, he's one of one in this era. There's no doubt about it.
In any era, to be quite honest with you, because when you talk about the eye test that Joel just mentioned, there's no quarterback that ranks. I mean, you can take moments of Randall Cunningham and moments of Mike Vick throwing the ball way down and making these amazing plays, but they didn't take their team to championships. They didn't will their teams to wins. I got to ask you, Sean, where does Marino rank on your all-time? He's at 3 for me.
What do you say to people who say he hasn't won the Super Bowl? He didn't win the
crap.
big game.
Bull crap.
That's his biggest thing you can say against him.
Honestly, bull crap. I
Marino
really
was
do.
just such a dominating and an amazing arm talent. He was so cerebral that if you would ever put him on a team that was legitimate and got that understanding of how to, I mean, what was he? He got there his first year, right? Or
Second year.
So that learning process of they're supposed to springboard you the next time you get there. They just never did. A lot should be said about not winning. But that team, I mean, Mark Clayton, Mark Duper, who did guy have?
Can I try to let me try to explain it to you for the younger guys? Okay, let me use an analogy. Let's say that a quarterback came around today. You know, some guy, you know, and pick any guy in college right now. And let's say 2 years from now, and he's second year in the league, he throws for 70 touchdowns and 6,000 yards, right? Wouldn't you be going ooh and ah because you're taking the level and you're not just going over the level, you are going way past the level.
I was just saying,
that was Dan Marino. That was, I mean, the level was here, okay? Maybe if a guy had 30 yards, 30 touchdowns, we were all going,
right.
Wow, that's a damn good year, okay? 48 touchdowns and 5,084 yards, was it, I think?
Yep.
Whatever the case. Nobody did it. And so not only that, it took 15 years until another dude threw for 5,000 yards.
I was going to say.
And a QB rating of 108.
I would say if you want to say that, the person that you would look to would have to be Mahomes. Mahomes' first year playing, he had 50 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
Insane.
With what you call 5,097 yards.
Different league, though. Very, very.
No,
very,
granted,
very
different league. Yeah, for sure. So.
But what I'm talking about is the starting point because now.
That's what I'm saying because this was Mahomes' first year starting.
Yeah, and it's but listen. It isn't crazy to throw. It isn't crazy to throw 50 touchdowns anymore. We've seen it a few times, right? He took the old record. Well, we've seen it a few times,
but it's still pretty crazy.
I was gonna say that's still crazy. 50
year starting, only a second in the league.
48. Nobody was near 48.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to say for what our comparison would be to like for my generation,
It'd be over 60 touchdowns.
But I mean, as impressive as that is, like I hope you understand. I'm not.
No, I get exactly what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, it's still like 48 was. He's got to be in my top 5. I've never wrote it down. Yeah.
Sean, he had 44 and 86. So what's 48 plus 44? It's 92 touchdowns. So then two seasons, 92 touchdowns.
Kind of the equivalent of about 120 today, I'd say.
Could you imagine that?
Marino or Manning?
Marino
or Manning?
I got to go with Manning. I got to go with the 5. I got to go with the 5 MVPs. And I got to say, he resurrected a struggling franchise. You can remember, he's the number 1 pick. The Colts sucked before he got there. Made them contenders. I mean, 2 receivers are in the Hall of Fame because of him. I mean, Reggie Wayne isn't yet, but should be.
Wedgie Rain?
Reggie Wayne.
Wedgie Rain? Sorry. We love switching the first letter of the first and last name, like Mandy Ross, another good one.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Give me I love Dan Marino.
Montana sauce.
And I love Dan Marino because I the only reason why I'm going to take the Sheriff is because of the way he managed the game. I think he's a better game manager than Dan Marino. That's this isn't a stats thing. It's a game management. I'll take the game manager.
Now,
that's the only reason.
Here's the other thing I will say, going back to the Mahomes thing. If you look up their last 3 seasons, Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes have had identical numbers. So I'm just saying, I think people are a little
different results, though.
Different results come playoff time. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying, though, in terms of a regular season, in terms of an all-time performer, that kind of stuff matters when you're comparing yourself to your contemporary. The gap, and I think this is where Marino helps us, the gap between him and everybody else in terms of quarterback play was pretty large in terms of the numbers, in terms of the pure dominance. For his era.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't
Great
think
point.
Mahomes, I think the postseason, the gap is there, but I don't think in terms of numbers he's doing anything generationally crazy compared to his contemporaries.
Well, and that's a great point, but you also touched on it. You see these guys like Manning not win until the end. You talked about Elway before the show until the end. This is a guy that is, as comparable as his numbers are to the best quarterbacks in the league. He has that Brady presence in the playoffs, and that's what matters. I mean, how many times can you mirror seasons where, the Chiefs are done? Oh, the Patriots are done.
Yeah.
And they go, they weren't
This
supposed
is
to win
the
it
end.
last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
They weren't even supposed to win it 2 years ago mid-season.
There are two things. You brought up Elway. I've never in my lifetime seen a guy change the narrative like John Elway did.
Yeah, he really did.
John Elway, go watch old Simpsons episodes. John Elway, listen, John Elway was a punchline
Yeah, he was.
on multiple Simpsons episodes. I mean, he was the epitome of a gagger. And he won a Super Bowl his last 2 years. You brought up a guy earlier. We were talking about the Lamar Jackson, Troy Aikman thing, okay? Troy Aikman was a different quarterback in the playoffs. Go look at his numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Troy Aikman just went like this.
Yeah.
It was crazy. He didn't have to in the regular season. He had Emmitt Smith, and there's Alvin Harper and Michael Irvin and Jay Novacek. But I'll tell you what, that son of a gun, that first Super Bowl, Aikman was a superhero.
Oh, yeah.
Even when they lost that game to the Niners, I think he threw for $399, which you guys are going $399, big deal. $399 was a big deal back then, man. It was a huge deal back then.
Dude, John Elway, as good as he didn't win those Super Bowls. Personally, that's a Terrell Davis Super Bowl. I'm telling you,
the quarterback sneak. Everybody will remember that.
Oh, no,
remember
I hear
the
you.
helicopter. And
I'm
all
just
that?
saying, I think those Super Bowls are more attributed to Terrell Davis's play than John Elway's. That's personally me.
Yeah,
He was amazing
200
for a
yards
few year
rushing.
stretch.
Yeah.
yeah. No, good. I like having these conversations with the youngins.
The youngins.
No,
I love it.
seriously.
They're bringing it today.
They are.
They are bringing it
bringing
today.
Can we
today.
switch seats? I want to hide back there and dip, to be honest
Hey,
with you.
hey, you know what? Here at Woodward Sports, guys, we are fortunate to have some very, very good interns and interns
doubt.
James and Joel who are here today, and also intern Justin, also AKA Jewsus.
The three of them?
Those three have been absolutely spectacular additions to
Man,
Woodward Sports.
The quickest of come-ups, man. I'm impressed
Appreciate
with
y'all.
all three of you
Appreciate y'all
guys.
for sure.
Yes, sir.
All right, do I have to do anything here?
No, we're gonna toss the break here, and then we're still gonna wait to see if intern Alex is gonna be showing up here.
All right, so, boy, they picked the right day to have the...
I was about to say, I think he saw the cast.
What would make him stay away? I have no idea.
I like that hat, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I like how you put the helmets out there, too,
So
as
we'll
well.
go to break, I guess, and then we'll come back.
All right, Woodward Sports.
All right, everybody, what happens when you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house? It tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring and technology backed by people. This technology has been proven to work, and these people have been proven to care, so call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Also, right now more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Market Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or visit SwissINS.com. We shall return.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
You know what it is, the Woo Crew, Woodward Sports Morning Show. Start your day with Wake Up Woodward, Friday 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. Join the gang, Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and my man KG in the Sound Blue filling in for him today. Every morning as they cover all the Detroit sports, sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction, all on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, did you know Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan? They are known for their quality, hand-battered and hand-breaded chicken tenders, sandwiches, and New York-style pizza. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit, doubling the number of restaurants this year. Soroki's just had their grand opening in Madison Heights, so go find out what the buzz is all about. Be sure to stop in and try at a mega station near you, or simply go to www.sorokis.com.
The biscuits.
The
honey biscuits, though. Oh, they're so good. Sean, we got a game tonight. Pistons Summer League. Have you caught any so far?
I have not.
What about you, Joel?
Point blank.
Very intriguing. Yeah.
James. Mike.
Then going back to college, so it's like, no, not going back to college, but going
Wake
back
Forest
overseas.
and Australia,
Yeah,
yep.
going back overseas. So it's like, I guess it gave him like a nice balance of both to get that college experience and that nice like pro experience. So it's like maybe that did serve him best, and maybe that might be a blueprint for some kids who like maybe don't get the success they want in college, but they know they have the talent to go play overseas. Yeah.
Did you see that 360 dunk he did in warmups?
I did not.
The guy's long. He's intriguingly athletic. He can hit the three. He's averaged over 35% from three the last 2 seasons. He's a cerebral guy. He's a tricky defender. Looks like the Pistons really got themselves a steal moving up in the second round to draft this guy. And then Ron Holland has looked really solid. He's got some rawness to his game, but his athletic ability, his shot selection, the things that he was asked to do, really dominating his team's possessions last year. He found himself in a lot of mistakes, turning the ball over, forcing shots. I think what I've seen and what I look for in summer ball is, do these guys play on a different level than the other talent that they're playing with? And these two do. I mean, Clinton absolutely sticks out, but Holland's athleticism in the summer league it stands out. This guy's going to be a good addition to this team. He's super young and raw though, but it's exciting to see what he brings.
Yeah, with your car, I like him. And then also, I guess sticking to our other prospects that we were looking at, I like Matas Buzelis. I like because I liked him even before the draft. I was saying I would be cool with drafting him, but watching him play, I would have been like a big fan of him.
I'm glad you brought that up because I watched that game the other night, and I will say it. I was wrong about Matas Buzelis, I believe. I think I was very wrong.
Yeah, because I was going to say, JJ Redick podcast, I love his. He won't have it no more. But JJ Redick podcast is very insightful, and he got me hip to Matas Buzelis because he was saying, like, this should be the number one pick. He even had an interview with him and everything, like, saying this is probably going to be the number one pick. I guess, like, they didn't like what they saw in the G League Ignite.
Percentage is what hurt him.
Yeah, he slipped a little bit, but looking at him play, he probably should have definitely been the number one pick compared to Alexander Sarr and Zachariah Richelet. Yeah, he definitely should have probably been number one. I like
Richelet, but Buzelis is really changing my mind. You brought up J.J. Redick. How do you feel about him in L.A.? Do you think that that's a long-term thing?
No.
Who's there longer, him or LeBron?
LeBron, are you kidding me?
I think that J.J.'s going to outlive LeBron.
Do you really?
I do. I think
LeBron is 58 or whatever.
In 2 years, when Bryce James comes out, LeBron will want to play with him. But Bryce will be a first-round pick. So the likelihood of him landing in L.A. is not high, like it was with Bronny, because nobody was taking that pick in the second round. I think that JJ's the perfect fit there.
Do you really?
I really, really do. This is a guy that doesn't back down. He's super knowledgeable. And even though he was the second pick there, I think he was the second pick there because LeBron knew that he wasn't going to have a cakewalk over JJ.
No, okay, I want to go back to the beginning of the show, though, because just hearing you guys, like, break down, like, what's happening in the Summer League, that is reason number 278 that guys like me are saying, I'm done with the summer. And you guys are admitting it to me right now. Because as you guys were talking about it, and I appreciate the knowledge and the passion, because point blank, I'm not paying attention. I'm not going to. You know what? I've been at rinks 2-3 nights a week. Yeah. Like, seriously, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to that. I'm watching on television and things like that. And I think that hammers home the point about the Tigers. In years gone by, we're sitting back. I mean, think about the era, right? Who are the Tigers? Oh, I don't like the Tigers' number 4 pitcher. Who's Dombrowski going to get at the deadline as our number 4? When we're only going to roll with 3 guys anyway come playoff series. But I think that hammers home the point of what we're talking about. Unfortunately, the Tigers have put us in a position the last few years where, you know what? Guys are more apt to say, you know what? I want to watch this. Yeah, you gave me an idea tonight. Cool. I'm in.
I love hearing that. We'll talk about it next time we're together. I've got something that can make you enjoy summer.
Okay.
Team USA basketball.
Yeah.
You gonna be watching?
Of course.
Yeah.
You have to, right?
Yeah.
I would also say gambling.
Now let me
gambling.
Let me
put some money on Team USA.
No, I was saying like gambling on like baseball and summer league. You can gamble on summer league.
A lot of guys my age, and Anson, I don't know if you're one of them. I'm a little bit older than you, but I know this from talking to my friends. At one point in time, I was all in on the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, I was.
All events?
I don't know. Yes, if it was on, I was watching.
Like 80s and 90s, it was the Olympics.
It was. And honest to God, Anson, I don't know what happened. I'm just not anymore. I'm just not. But when you're talking about the best versus the best, you count me in every time. When you're doing that, count me in every time. And that's what Olympic basketball is. I mean, that's the best versus the best. Not that the other events aren't. I'm not being disrespectful. I hope you understand the context. But I'm just, like the track and field events, the 100 was can't miss television when we were younger.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson, Carl Lewis, right?
Yeah.
That was can't miss television.
Canada versus US, man, that was great.
The decathlon, right? Yep. That was who's the world's greatest athlete.
Remember the Daves?
Who could forget that?
I would say, well, Noah Lyles might be able to bring that to track this Olympics because a lot of people are going to be paying attention to him to see if he's able to, because he's a high character, like not a high character, he's a big character. He talks a lot. He the one that said like NBA isn't the world champions or nothing because they don't play like the whole world. That's
world
him.
Champions of what?
Yeah, so a lot of people are going to be probably tuning in to see him. And then I would say, though, I think it probably just got lost when it's like the world just moved faster now.
100%.
Everything is like
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's like people don't really care about everything.
And to add on to your point, in '92, was there Drazen Petrovic?
Yeah.
There was nobody in the league. You know, I mean, football we don't see
Tony
at the Olympic level.
Kukoc. Everybody talking about how great Tony with an eye was.
But you look at it now, the best player in MLB is not from this country. The best player in the NBA, I mean, you can argue is Luka. I think it's going to be Wemby, not domestically born.
Good call.
You know, so what we starved for, you weren't alive yet, but what we were starving for was, you know, to see us go up against the world, which we didn't get to see, save every 4 summers. Now we get a taste of it all the time.
Every day.
But I think that it also adds a little bit of intrigue because, like, you know, when there was the influx of the foreign players coming over, but they were guys like Darko and Skidishvili and guys that weren't playing, there was still that intrigue because they were starting to push back a little bit. At this point, I think it's because we've taken the L's that the intrigue is high again. I guess my question for everybody in the room is, it sounds like number 2 for you is track and field. What are you looking to catch most besides basketball?
Ooh, probably, honestly speaking, probably just gymnastics.
Yeah?
Because when I watch gymnastics, I'd be like...
Men's or women's?
It's more so,
because it's not men's, is it? You ain't watching a men's.
I was gonna say it's women's, but it's for the fact that look, all right. So look, I had an internship at Michigan State, and we would have to like work gymnastics events, and like just seeing like the flips and the twists and the turns and landing, it's like it's actually just like it's very
It's
intriguing.
one of my favorites, but
yeah,
I'm not
it's very
watching the
intriguing.
men, to be honest, except for the rings. The
It
rings are
is-
awesome.
That was another thing, though. We knew all of their names 30 years ago. We really did.
Yep.
We knew all of their, and they even had a dream team, I think, in the '96 Olympics that you knew all of their names.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, I get so much crap for this, but since you confessed, I'm going to confess too, and I'm going to switch to the Winter Olympics. I am fascinated. By
Curling?
the skating.
Oh, okay.
Fascinated.
I
by
thought you
it.
were going curling.
The things,
figure skating?
The things that those people do on their skates.
Yeah.
You could come and give me a 2-hander in the back of my head, and I couldn't pretend to do those things. You could, like you said, the Eastern Michigan football team could roll over me and pick me up and throw me, and you couldn't flip me the way that they're. It's incredible athleticism, and so people like, dude, are you serious? Why are you watching that? I go, look what they're doing.
Yeah.
Debbie Thomas,
They're
Nancy
on-
Kerrigan.
They're on skates. Like, what's wrong with you?
I was big into it too, man.
Oh,
I'm
my
not
I was
gonna
gonna say, I
lie.
think-
What about you, Pete? What are you looking forward to most if it's not basketball? If it is, what's number 2?
Oh boy, guys!
Do
See,
it.
it's so hard not to
Call
sound like a
yourself
frat
out.
boy.
Call
here.
yourself out.
It's kind of hard not to sound like a frat boy and maybe kind of a little bit of a freak here, but women's volleyball, man, the 2-on-2,
fair enough.
dude.
Beach volleyball, let's go.
Yeah, beach
Fair
volleyball,
enough. What about
baby.
you, Luca?
Gabby Reese.
That's right.
I'd probably say track and field. I love seeing those guys run those events, and then seeing the triple jumps always fun as well. And some of the hurdlers and things. So I'd probably say that 100, 200 events. So probably say some of the track events.
Does your generation still get into that? I mean, are you guys like all in and you know who all the top runners are? You're shaking your head no. Same with you?
I only know Noah Lyles. That's it.
We knew. Like we
used to know.
We knew.
Yeah. Carl Lewis.
You saying like other countries or just
yeah,
USA?
you knew. I mean, that was
in the 90s. They had sports cards for the
I was
Olympics
just
all
about
the
to say
time.
that they don't really like for our generation. They don't market other
don't.
countries' athletes to us. So we not other than like Usain Bolt and probably like they like standouts of standouts. But other than that, like we not really getting nobody market. Even our own U.S.
Yes,
athletes, we
that's
not
where I
getting
was gonna
marketed
go.
to
They
us.
don't even market our
Yeah.
own
It's true.
athletes. Absolutely.
I'd agree with that.
It's a true, and that was like the biggest gazillion-dollar package that you could get. Like whoever got the Olympics, that was a big thing back in the day. And quite, I don't think they're making their money.
No,
I
don't
don't think they're making their money. I mean, that's what's happened. And I agree with you. I thought that was very insightful for somebody who didn't live through the area that we're talking about. There's too much now.
Well,
like because back in the day, if we saw the Tigers twice a week, we were happy as a pig in crap, right?
Yep.
And then you might get a national game of the week, or you might get a rare game on ESPN. You can watch games every day now.
I would
So-
say look at it from the NFL standpoint. You got Sunday night primetime, Monday night primetime, Thursday night primetime. On the holidays, you got Saturday night primetime. Like, we're getting, like, to your point, we're getting a little bit too much almost. Like, it's like sports fans want it, they clamored for it, but it's like you're not going to be able to get quality games on that many days of the week, and you seeing it with Thursday night football, and which is why you see a lot of people say, like, oh, I'm not even going to care to watch Thursday night football, because now they're getting football on so many other days that they like, oh, I can get it on Sunday, I can get it on Saturday, I can get it on Monday, I can get it on any other day if this Thursday night game is terrible, compared to if it's just, oh, you can only watch this Sunday night game or this Monday night game, and that's the only time you're going to get primetime football. People would be more inclined to, I guess, watch and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Did you all see what happened with the Roger Goodell and NFL Red Zone? The fact they lost with the Red Zone Sunday ticket, they lost the case for it. So now people are being forced to pay. I think the NFL is being forced to pay out some billions of dollars to people. But
big old class action.
I think it'll be interesting to see is now out of market games will finally be like an a la carte option, so you don't have to pay for everything. So I think that excites some people in terms of that. So at least on Sundays, I think you see an increase of viewership. But yeah, I agree with Joel. I think there is some too much. There is a point where it is almost too much. And then also you got to think about players' rest time too in between games.
That's the biggest key, man. Who's kidding who? I mean, that's why. I mean, we're getting to the day we're not going to have these exhibition games anymore. I mean, we are. We're getting close to that. I'm surprised we're still at 3. I mean, honestly, I am. I mean, at some point in time, you have to think about this. And I mean, you played a high level. These guys that have to fly overseas, those England trips, man, that blows.
Oh yeah.
That blows, man. Are you kidding me? That's not a good thing for anybody.
It's the flight back after you wear your body out.
You got it.
That's the one that kills you when you're, when you should be stretching and working out the pain, getting treatments and all that stuff. No, let's shove you like cattle into a plane and you're going to sit in your seat for 7 hours.
Ugh, screw that.
Then they, this year they started like leaving teams over there for 2 weeks. But that's a disadvantage to the team coming in to face a team that's been there for 2 weeks and they still trying to get acclimated. Because I forgot what team it was. I forgot what game it was. I think it was like Bills versus somebody. But I was saying like the team was better than the Bills. But I'm like, bet the Bills like undoubtedly, because I'm like, they've been over there for 2 weeks. Like I know for a fact that's about to be the sole reason they win this game, and it was.
I don't think there's ever too much a thing is too much football. I really don't.
No.
I just don't think. 9:30 in the morning. What's that span in December? Isn't there like a span of like 28 days where there's football? 27
right.
days.
That's what I'm talking about. Like during the holidays, you get like get some games.
Starting with the conference championships in early December.
This particular year, especially with them playing the Christmas days at Wednesday or whatever, I saw somebody put that out. There was like a span of 28 days where it was 27 days you could watch football.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's
the best nativity calendar you could ever ask
There you go, boys.
All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, fellas?
Bronny James update, averaging 12.5 points over his last 2 games, shooting nearly 40% from 3. He is an NBA player. I know, but people have been calling me crazy for that. You look at Alexander Sarr's numbers in summer camp or summer league, and they are far worse. LeBronny's finally getting his shot to fall. The jitters of being called up a little early and maybe not deserving to be there are subsiding. His shot, his professionalism, and his understanding of the game will rule eventually and long term because he will be an NBA player. He'll carve out a little 15-minute a night career.
All right, fantastic. All right, boys, thank you. Most
Appreciate
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you coming in today, buddy. You're always welcome here.
Interns today, though.
These guys.
You guys are on fire today.
The first star right there. All right.
Good job with the intern.
Pyro Pete's always lit.
Yeah, listen, you guys have yourselves a great weekend. Heavyweights are coming up. Although Spence has a day off,
I
right?
think Spenny's off today.
Spence,
It'll be
that guy never takes
it'll be
a day
easy and Chris on the desk.
outstanding.
Will and then I'll be in the audio
And
booth.
intern Justin should be here too.
Yeah,
That
Justin
check
will be
gonna
here
be
too.
wild.
Yeah, no, I was about to say we get a little, we way more uncensored on heavyweights.
Very, very different 2 hours.
Sean, you're
Way
always welcome
different.
here, my friend.
Thank you.
You
And-
are
and
always.
To Jesse, I did not dip during the show, but that's going to change in about 10 seconds. We'll see you guys
Go
later.
green.
Go white.
Go white.